Thank you, Nicole, and welcome everyone to the breakfast of the Dr. Martin Luther King celebration. This is an awesome time. We're celebrating an awesome man who's done so much. And as I stand here today, I have to thank him, and I have to thank you all, because together we're his dream. Like 49 years ago, he wrote a speech, and we are standing here as his dream. So, as another introduction, so you can see who I am, I'm going to play this for you. What do I need to do? Because I need like a 14-week game plan. The trials in Jamaica are June 25th. My name is Zara Northover. I'm the #1 thrower in Jamaica, and I compete in the shot put. I am a dual citizen, born in the U.S., but both my parents are from Jamaica, and I was pretty much raised there. I remember sitting in my office at work. I work at Northeastern, and just looking at the schedule, thinking, when am I going to compete? Like, I have to look at the team schedule. Then I realized, wait a second, like I'm not in college anymore. And I remember I was just in tears, because I was just like, I don't know where I'm competing, what I'm doing. And that's when it hit me, like, when you're trying to be a professional after college, like, it's a whole nother ballgame. It's planning meets, it's planning training schedules, figuring out who you're going to train with, when you're going to train, especially when you have to pay your bills. And part of that means either you get a full-time job, part-time job, whatever kind of suits you best. So I took a lot of time to just focus on and prioritizing what needs to be done. I know I need a job in order to pay my bills. I tried to minimize, find the cheapest place I could in Boston, which is not very easy to live. So I figured I would put myself in a situation where I could volunteer coach, be an assistant coach for the track team, so that would enable me to travel with the team and compete in some open meets to help cut costs, because everything costs money, and it's just a balancing that can drive you mentally crazy if you're not prepared or understand what you're about to get into. So many people are just like, Zara, you're not tall enough, you're not big enough, and I've always heard that throwing, because I'm one of the shortest throwers, I'm definitely one of the smallest throwers. I competed in Brazil this summer, and the top 3 girls are 5'9" or taller, and I'm 5'4" and 3/4, and they probably all weigh around 230 above, and definitely under 200. It amazes me sometimes, like, wow, like, I must be meant to do it, because I wouldn't be able to throw this far if I didn't have it in me. Once you start telling yourself positive things actually start to happen. Throwing is a very technical event, it's a very difficult event. If you don't have support or people willing to help you, it's hard to push forth. And I just want to get there, because I know that I have the drive, I know that I have the support, I have the personality to just get through to people and to get them to start wanting to throw and wanting to get to that level if I could just get there myself. I just have so many plans of becoming a thrower and making the Olympics, and then coming back and being able to tell my stories to other kids in the community, because it'll show that a girl that wasn't big enough, wasn't tall enough, had a dream and worked extremely hard to get after it. And I just know it'll make my mom proud, it'll make my father proud, my whole family, the whole Northeastern, Sawanica, where I came from, just realize that, she did it, she said she was going to do it, and she got it done. And that's what it's all about, moving in faith, believing in yourself, and getting after it. Thank you very much. So that is a little bit of who I am. Not only am I am an ambassador for Christ, not only that do I have my faith, but God has put me in a position to compete around the world in an event that I didn't like. Quite frankly, I didn't like it. And it was this, I have it right here, this 8.8-pound iron ball that was God's gift and blessing to me. This was my $200,000 education. This was my trip to India, my trip to Brazil, my trip to China, my trip around the world. This was part of my mom's dream. This was my opportunity that Dr. Martin Luther King fought for me to have. And that is something I'm so grateful and so honored to stand here today to tell you a little about my story and how it has brought me to Eastern Michigan University. One of the quotes that I often look at that Dr. Martin Luther King says is, if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving. Whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. To me, that was impactful because my whole life, like I said, I was too short, I was too small, I wasn't cut out to be a 2008 Olympian. I wasn't cut out to be the girl that would walk amongst 90,000 people in the bird's nest and achieve my mother's dreams of being bigger and larger than life. And that's what she thought I was that day. To stand in the crowd and see her, I thought it was kind of crazy, actually. She was wearing teal pants, and a bright yellow shirt because she wanted to make sure that I would see her. And I looked up in the stands, and all of a sudden I see this lady screaming, "Zara!" And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. I'm probably 18,000 miles away from home, and I see my mom acting the same. But it brought me back to life. It brought me to realize that this Olympic Games is like a practice. It's like a graduation ceremony. This Olympic Games is no different than every day of my life where I strive to be the best that I can be. And as I walked out in the opening ceremony, I was so proud that day. I was so honored because I remembered where I came from. I remembered the 5 o'clock in the morning wake-ups to go and lift. I remembered driving overtired to work at 8 o'clock in the morning so this way I could have something to pay my bills, so I could have something to pay my rent, so I could continue to chase my dream and work and make it come true. I remember going through and having to deal with my bosses that were like, are you leaving again? Are you leaving again? And feeling so bad because I knew if I was supposed to be there, then I should be there 100%. But I was blessed to have their support in order to continue. I remember 5:30 ending and me running out the doors just so I could go to work again, just so I could go to practice again from 5:30 to 8:30. And if I didn't finish certain things, from 8:30 on, I had to get treatment. I had to do special exercises. I had to stay there extra if I didn't get the technique. But I worked. I worked because I had a dream. I worked because I knew that in order to make this, I was going to have to work harder than anyone. And it didn't come lightly. My own federation, my own country, as I said before, I'm a dual citizen, American and proudly Jamaican. I call my home. But not everybody sees it that way. So I may not have experienced that racism of black on white, but I experienced that racism of not fully being accepted by your own country. And while I was in Jamaica competing for what I thought was my country too, both my parents are here, I was born in Florida and literally spent the first few years of my life in a country that I thought was my home. I started competing and realizing that they didn't have my best interest at heart all the time. And this story is something that's dear to me because I haven't shared it too often. But the reason why I'm going to share it today is because I want to show you that persistency is what counts. Persistency is what's going to get us to the next level. That year, in 2007, that was the start before my dream came true. I had a bulging disc in my back. My L5-S1 was out. I saw 3 of the best surgeons in the Massachusetts area to find out that I was supposed to have surgery. I contacted my country. They said they couldn't help me. What am I supposed to do? It's the beginning of the year. I had such great aspirations of making this team. Finally, I met a chiropractor that said, give me 12 sessions. 12 sessions, and I promise you that I'll get you where you need to be. 12 sessions, I said, well, I'm going to take a step out on faith. I'm going to move in faith. And I said, let's do it. So I went and saw him every Wednesday for 12 weeks. By the 10th week, I was running, I was jumping, and I felt no more pain. Wow. I thought to myself, okay, I'm good. I'm going to make this team. I'm back on track. I had a personal best finally when I came back. Then I went to lift one day. And all of a sudden, the strength coach, my strength coach wasn't there, so a friend of mine said, Zara, this is how you do this exercise. He pulls out this 4-foot box, and he's like, I need you to stand on top of this box and jump down. It wasn't how I was supposed to do the exercise. He wanted to see if I could do it. So I stand up on this box because this is what I think I'm supposed to do, and I jump down, and I land in this position. Before I know it, my knee is starting to give on me. It's starting to shake. It's starting to hurt. But I push through, because that's what an athlete does. We don't listen to our body, just we just work hard. We work through the pain. Before I knew it, I couldn't walk. My knee was hurting me even more. I go and get an MRI. I tore my meniscus. Halfway through the season, what am I supposed to do? Friends are calling me, well, Zara, luckily you have that $40,000 job that you're in because it doesn't look like you're going to make it. My mom was like, you got to make sure you have a backup plan. Except for what? I'm going to the Olympics. You can't tell me that my dream wasn't going to come true. Because it was, and it was because I was persistent. I went to therapy. I found out my options. I said, if I have surgery, I'm not going to make it back in time. So what I did was I got one of those jumper knee bands, and I put it over my knee, and I cut off the circulation to my knee during every practice or doing every competition. So this way, I didn't feel the pain while I competed. And I said, if I could just make this team and hold on until after the Olympics, then I'll have my surgery. I practiced every meet. Still no distance, but I got a little bit further. So I prayed every time. I said, God, I know that you're going to see me through. You didn't put this on my heart for this not to come true. So regardless of my friends that were saying, no, this is not going to happen, regardless of my mom, who of course she's going to be supportive and tell me, baby girl, anything you want to do, you can do. But in the back of her mind, she's probably thinking, oh my goodness, I just pray that if it doesn't happen, that she's going to be okay. But I believed, because I know that as long as I had faith, it was going to take place. June 8th, 2008, I went home to New York to compete in the Island Games. And June 8th, 2008, I qualified for the Olympic Games. I threw 17:57, and which surpassed the standard. My mom was there, my family was in the crowd, my high school teachers were there. This was one of my last opportunities to make the team, but I didn't. I did it knowing that the people before me had dreams. I did it knowing that Dr. Martin Luther King fought for an opportunity. So if he could go through what he went through, then I know that I could endure some pain. And as long as I keep working, then it was going to come to pass, because I believed that God didn't put me in this position, this 5'4", 3/4 of a human being, in a position competing against giants who are 6'5", girls who are 5'9", 250 pounds, girls that are benching 330 pounds. I wasn't put in this position, something that I hated to do, for nothing. I knew that I was here to make a difference, and I knew that I was here to make an impact. So what happened? We think it's over. June 8th came around, I qualified for the Olympics, I'm on the plane. That's what's supposed to happen. But no, I get to Jamaica, I win my trials, and that's when the drama actually begins. I did everything that I deserved to do. I did everything I was supposed to do. Then I find out that my name is not on the list to go to the Olympics. I'm in tears, I'm confused, but do I give up? No. This girl? No. I fight. I fight. I fight the federation. I called the United States because they tried to say that the meet that I competed at didn't count. Like a USATF, that doesn't make any sense. They put on so many meets, and like they all qualified, and there were other athletes on there with a B standard. I don't understand why I'm not on this team. So the United States fights for me. Members of the federation, certain members of the federation start to fight for me. And I went to the media, because the one thing I've always learned was that communication is like a hypodermic needle. What you put out there, and when people understand, then people understand the information and they use it for their advantage. So I let the newspapers know what was going on to me. I was not going to take no for an answer. I was not going to be quiet. I let them know that Zara Northover qualified for the Olympic Games,
Zara Northover, who is not sponsored by her country, not sponsored or supported by anyone other than God, her family, and her friends, and those around her, had qualified and deserved to be on this team, regardless of what other confusion or anything that's going on in this federation. You know what ended up happening? They called me and said, Northover, please don't come down here and argue with these people. You're on the team. I should be ecstatic. I should be happy. But who wants to find out that they made the Olympic Games like that? Who wants to be called July 25th, the day 2 days before I'm supposed to get on a plane and go to China and be told, how does it feel to be put on the team in the last minute? Because I thought July 8th I was on the team, but it turns out still July 25th, that's when I was submitted to be on the team. I get to China. I get to China all to be contained by the Chinese people. I'm just as stunned as you are. Just as stunned as you are. They stopped me and said, Northover, you're not on this list. What? Like I flew here, I'm on this team. No, you're not on this list. You're not on. You can't go into practice. I have to wait, embarrassingly, for someone from my federation to come and speak to them and explain to them what takes place. That's when the drama starts. So I was like, well, I'm confused. Why is this happening? Well, Northover, don't even worry about it. We'll fix it. I get there. Everybody's getting their gears. You got the fresh Puma jackets. You got the nice shoes. You got everything. Well, where's my bag? No bag. They forgot to submit my name to Puma. So I was without a bag. What am I supposed to do? I thought that I was fighting for my country. I thought that I was there to represent Jamaica. I thought that I was there to represent a dream, an opportunity. But why is all of this happening to me? I cried. I'm not even going to lie and say that I didn't cry. I cried and I felt it deep down in my core because I was hurt. I was hurt by what was taking place. But you know what was so beautiful? That I had 50 other teammates that said, Zara, come to my room. Take whatever you want to take out of the bag. I had Usain Bolt say, listen, just whatever you need, just come and take it from me. I walked in, but I was disappointed because I was like, why am I being treated like this? What did I do? What did I do to deserve this? So I walked in the room and I spoke to the individuals and I said, I'm supposed to have this, 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 and this. I was told, Zara Northover, you are a troublemaker. You are a troublemaker. If you're a Christian, why do you want a short skirt? Why do you want that dress? Why do you want this? Excuse me? I said, oh, I apologize if I'm being a troublemaker for fighting so hard to get here to represent the Jamaican people, my people, who I am a part of. I may not be born in Jamaica, but I am Jamaican. I'm Jamaican because my father and my mother are Jamaican. I'm Jamaican because I was born here, yes, for an American opportunity. My mom was using her head. She came here on vacation so she could provide for me. She could give me the option of a better life. But we still know our culture. I say my both pledges with pride. I am who God has made me to be, and I deserve to be here. But I am sorry if you think I'm causing trouble, asking for the things that I deserve. They throw a few pieces of clothes on the table, and I pick these clothes up, and I walk out the room, and then I break. I break, and I start to cry. I break, and I get on my knees, and I haven't even competed yet. I haven't even had a chance to compete yet. They send me to a psychologist, a team sports psychologist. Why? I realize at this point, what they're trying to do is probably break me, so this way then they could say that I'm not fit to compete, to say then that I could be sent home. That's not going to happen. Not this girl. I'm too smart for that. I'm better than that. So many people have fought through all of this before, and thank God for the education that I had here in the States, because I've seen it. What Dr. Martin Luther King went through, I don't know if anybody could go through that today and survive and be okay and still stand strong. But I did. I did that because I knew in my heart that that's what he did. That's what my ancestors fought so hard for. That's what we celebrate on a regular basis. So I was going to stand proud too, because if Jesus could carry his own cross and be on that cross and die for our sins, then I know that I can withstand with people hurting me, with people trying to inflict pain that I didn't deserve on me, and I was still going to make it. That morning I wake up on August 16th to compete. I can't find my shoes, I don't have my number, all the things I'm supposed to have I still don't have. I wake up and I go look for the chef de mission, the person that's supposed to have all these things together, can't know where to be found. Half an hour before I'm supposed to be at the track, why are they sabotaging me? I still don't have the things that I need. but I eventually get a pair of shoes that are a little bit too big for me. I show up and I compete. I walk out in that stadium and I see this woman with these teal pants and this yellow shirt screaming, Zara! And I say, you know what? It doesn't even matter what I've been through, because my dream was to get here. And I'm walking in this stadium with 90,000 people around screaming, Zara! And I made it. I made it. I made that 2008 Olympic Games. And I represented both my countries, because I'm proud to be American. I'm proud to be Jamaican, regardless of what they can understand. When I think back of the things that I have seen, the places I have gone, the Great Wall of China, I realized everything that Martin Luther King was talking about, with having faith and taking that first step, not knowing what you're going to see or expect. I was there. I was there with our tour guide, Cinda, traveling through the towns, through the ghetto areas, and seeing all of China. Because when I get a free trip, let's face it, it's a free trip. I'm getting to go over to China, I'm competing, but I'm not going to be like most people and just stay in the village and stay in the rooms. Like, I'm going to step out and I'm going to see the place. So we did that. I went to India because of that 8.8 iron ball. I've been to Brazil, I've been to Colombia, I've been to Puerto Rico. I've traveled the world because of the blessing that I have been given. And I wasn't going to take that lightly. Whether I liked it or not, I was going to throw, and I was going to throw as far as I can for as long as I could. One of the poems that I saw during his I Have a Dream speech, I came across, we refuse to believe that the bad or insufficient funds and the great hopes of the opportunity of this nation. So we have come to cash this check, a check that will give us upon demand the riches of freedom and the security of justice. This was my check. This was my opportunity to take hold and take advantage of all the blessings that were out there for me. And that is one of the things that I try to inspire and tell people, that you may not like what you're doing, but utilize your talents, your given talents for your advantage to do what you want to do. I love to travel. I love education. I knew that this was going to take me somewhere that I couldn't just take myself. And this was a God-given gift. So I was not going to deny that. I was going to use that to my advantage. Because I will not be denied. I will not be defeated. I have purpose, and I am ordained to do great things. I have lost, I have gained, and through it all, I never stop moving in faith. That is my brand. That is why you see me wear this every day. I needed something to get me through those times where no one else believed in me, those times when I didn't believe in myself. So since I wasn't sponsored by Nike or Adidas, why am I going to spend $100 to buy a top from them or some pants from them when I can get my own shirts printed? I realized from early that I was given a gift. This was impressed upon my heart, so I walked around with shirts that said Moving in Faith, bracelets that said Moving in Faith. I utilized this as a fundraiser at first to make some money to help with training. But then I realized that this was more than a fundraiser. This was my purpose. This was my purpose in track and field, was to spread this positivity, to spread this motivation. For me, it was to spread God's word. Amen. That's good. He gave me this gift. So I wasn't going to call it a curse. I was going to use it to my advantage. Why was I experiencing all this heartache and this setback, things that I didn't deserve? All this stuff started to finally make sense. I was going through this. So this way people could see, will Zara break down? Will Zara curse these individuals? Will Zara give up? But no, I wasn't going to give up because I was moving in faith. This brand started off, honestly, think of mine, a t-shirt, a tank top from 2007 with Moving in Faith on a permanent marker on the back of a shirt. And now I find myself in 2013 with my own logo, sending off shirts to Germany, sending off shirts to Norway, sending off shirts to all sorts of places around the world because people have been inspired, because they've seen what I have gone through. Because I never kept quiet. I used my voice to reach out to others to let them know that if I could do it, then so can you. We are all Dr. Martin Luther King's dream. raised. And it came to the point where, because I knew I had this dream, I couldn't give up. But last year, I'm jumping the gun just because I wanted to share this today. I lost my former coach who died in October of pancreatic cancer. I lost my father to heart failure in April. And my brother was killed January 18, 2012. This was all in the year of trying to make this 2012 Olympic Games. I didn't know what I was going to do. All I knew that I had to fight through it. I had to stick through it. I had to take their words. A man is not a failure because he tries and fails, or because he fails to try. I had to take my coach's words. Zara, your impacts are far beyond the circle. So remember, fulfill your potential, achieve your dreams, and reach beyond expectations. My brother used to say, at all costs, Z, you chase your dreams and don't ever stop and let anyone ever tell you that you can't catch them. I had to take that and hold it deep inside and continue to push through to try to make the team. I reached out to my country, once again, still no help. I came back after that last funeral, May 19th, my dad's funeral, and I said, you know what, I'm not going to give up. I have about 8 weeks for the Olympic trials. I competed, I had about 3 weeks for the Olympic trials. I competed about 12 times within that 3 weeks. I hit 16.99 meters, and I needed 17.2 to get on the plane. I got to Jamaica, I won my Olympic trials. I came back with the worst flight arrangements ever. New Jersey to Michigan, from Michigan to Nebraska to try to compete. I got there Thursday, competed on Friday, and I was still 7 inches short. I thought I had failed. At that point it hit me, I thought I had failed. I thought I lost everything because now I didn't make the team. My dad died, my brother died, my father died, and I didn't make this Olympic team. I was hurt, but I knew that there was purpose. I wasn't in London, but I saw individuals wearing Moving in Face shirts all over London, and I realized that was my purpose. And people were watching to see what I was going to do. But what I did was I put myself back into school. I ended up becoming a journalist and intern for the Jamaica team, writing articles on the Olympians, helping to share their story the way that their story should be shared. And now I'm on track to graduate, April 28th, the day of my father's death of this year. So one of the things I wanted to share is that throughout my time, and this is part of my personal statement because I also just finished applying for the doctoral program at U of M, is that I have hurt and experienced setbacks and pain deep down inside. I have been rejected and just wanted to stop, but instead I smiled through my tears, knowing that no matter how much giving up seemed like the better option, I would never give up because I'm God's creation who is destined to succeed, inspire others, and create history. I am Dr. Martin Luther King's dream, and I will forever